Hey guys, so this is the Blonde BL03 Mark II. This is excellent. But if I left it to just that, some of you wouldn't accept that, some of you would want more reasoning, and YouTube would definitely not pay me any ad revenue. So let's break it down. First things first, let's get the unboxing out of the way. So as you can see, it comes in this really unassuming packaging, nothing too fancy here. Inside the box, we get some paperwork, some different sets of various sized silicone ear tips, the oxygen-free copper silver-plated cable that has 2-pin connectors on one end. Now the version I have comes with an inline microphone with dedicated multimedia buttons, and it ends in a 3.5mm audio jack. You also get a carrying pouch to carry these in-ear monitors in, and of course you get the Blonde BL03 Mark II themselves. Now as for the key specs of the Blonde BL03 Mark II, so these house a single 10mm dynamic driver in each of these in-ear monitors, and they have an impedance of 32 ohms. So once again, these would be categorized as low impedance in-ear monitors, but if you want the best audio quality possible and the maximum volume that these can produce, then I always suggest that you do invest in a portable DAC. Nothing too fancy or expensive, just something that can power these and make sure that these perform to their full potential without leaving anything in the tank. And what you get is just the best audio quality and maximum volume possible. And as always, the one that I personally use will be linked in the description below. Now as for the build quality, so this is made of zinc alloy. So again, I love this feel of metal. It's got this mirror finish, this polish, and although it looks great, but it is going to attract a lot of fingerprints, which you can very easily get rid of with just a wipe. Now the overall feel is really premium, no jagged edges, really seamless, and feels overall very well built and giving you the assurance that it's going to last for years to come. Now as for the ergonomics, these were very comfortable even for extended listening sessions. I had no issues at all, no ear fatigue, and overall feels very nice. Now the stock cable that comes with the BL03 Mark II is a definite improvement over the stock cable that came with the OG BL03, which was really thin and flimsy and people hated that. So the one that comes in the box with the Mark II is definitely better. They've used better materials, so that is pretty reassuring. However, if you want to take this a notch above, if you want to take it further and use an 8-core or 16-core cable which is thicker, tangle-free, and may even substantially improve the audio quality, then I've left links to a few upgrade cables in the description below. Definitely check them out. They are better, they're a long-term investment, and will just make any in-ear monitor you use them with sound better. Alright, now with all of that out of the way, let's get into the main criteria, which is the audio quality. Now you guys know, if you're an existing viewer, I judge in-ear monitors based on how they produce the 3 main frequencies that broadly make up any sound that you hear: the highs, the mids, and the lows. The highs, or the treble response, where the really sharp sounding instruments are, the mids, where the vocals are, and the low end, or the bass response. Alright, starting off with the higher frequencies, or the treble response, the Blonde BL03 Mark II is so good. There is excellent detail retention. The treble extension is very good, but it doesn't go overboard where it tends to sound harsh, even at relatively high volumes. Now, having said that, depending on the track, and if you're pushing the volume to 100%, some tracks still might sound a bit harsh, but it is not a consistent problem. Now, because this somehow packs so much of richness, even in the treble response, every instrument in that higher frequency range is clearly audible, separate from one another, no clutter, no overlap. Overall, it gives you a very sparkly, enjoyable experience without sounding very harsh or sibilant. So the high frequencies were just a joy. Next up, we have the mid frequencies where the vocals are. Mid frequencies also impressed me thanks to how they maintained a lot of that natural tonality while also giving you the crispiness in the vocals. So while maintaining a lot of clarity and sharpness, it also had the support of the lower mids that adds that body and made it sound a bit more full. So male vocals didn't sound hollow even at relatively high volumes. There was enough natural tonality for you to enjoy the music and have a more or less very laid back, soothing listening experience. But what really takes the cake is the instruments in the mid frequency range. Strokes of guitars sound beautiful, packed with so much of organic detail without going overboard, and every instrument is very well spaced out, clearly and distinctly audible from one another, and they don't overlap with the vocals. So really enjoyed the mid frequencies, especially instruments. But my only complaint with the mid frequencies is that the upper mids sometimes don't sound as clean, but only at really high volume. That is when I found there was a bit of clutter in the upper mids that kind of gets into the high frequencies as well. And that happened rarely, but it did happen on some tracks at high volumes. But anything till 80% volume and it sounds clean. And finally, we have the low end or the bass response. Now, the OG Blonde BL03 was already really impressive with its bass response. Everybody loved it. And the Mark II improves further. And it makes subtle refinements that makes it sound fuller. So it maintains a really powerful mid-bass slam, so you get a lot of that thickness, that punchiness, that thump factor which we all love. It is also very nice textured, but it also adds a bit more of the sub-low rumble. So that sub-low extension is more refined, it's more consistent, and over the tracks that you can listen to, it is always going to give you, wherever it can, that sub-low rumble. That just adds a new dimension, makes it sound fuller, richer, and more immersive. Now, as for the soundstage on the Blonde BL03 Mark II, it was sufficiently wide, not extraordinary, but it does a good job with the imaging. You can clearly understand the spacing and location of instruments in the track, and I think for casual gamers, this would also be a good option. Alright guys, just to summarize, the Blonde BL03 Mark II is an absolute winner. I mean, hands down, no doubts about it. If you ask me whether you should get this, yes. Now, if you already own the OG Blonde BL03 and if you're wondering whether this is an upgrade, yes, it is an upgrade, and these are subtle refinements in just the right places. There were complaints regarding the ergonomics of the OG BL03. This has improved. I didn't have any issues with the OG one as well, and this one is also very comfortable even for long listening sessions, so no issues there. The sound quality, it is so rich, it is so high resolution, and it is so immersive thanks to the sparkly highs and the really immersive rumbly low bass. So it is the package. So whether you're a beginner or an intermediate, if you want to use a pair of in-ear monitors for a wide genre of music, regardless of what you listen to, the Blonde BL03 Mark II is hands down what you should go for. So there you have it guys, that was my in-depth review of the Blonde BL03 Mark II. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any other questions, do hit me up in the comment section below. As always, the link to this and many other in-ear monitors and accessories will be placed in the description, and I would really appreciate if you use those links to make your purchase. As always, you have my word, it will never cost you anything extra, but you guys will be helping me run this channel and I can produce more such high quality and helpful content just for you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video, and I'll catch you guys very soon in the next one. Cheers.